Hey everybody, welcome to Scribbles with Jonathan. My name is Jonathan Rector. You can check out my website and my work at jonathanrector.com. And today we're just doing a quick recorded version of a sketch, a promotional sketch I just wanted to do for fun for the standard. And this character here, this guy's name is actually TV Man. So here we go. So we're already going in there, going into the rough work and all that good stuff. Just laying it out there. We're using Manga Studio. I'm trying to get more familiar with it. I am getting way more comfortable. There has been a few projects that I have done on the side that I'll probably share with you guys really soon. I'm seeing a big transition in something that I wanted to do for a long time, which is to work primarily in Manga Studio, specifically because it gives me a very different line quality that Photoshop doesn't. I don't want to say isn't able to, but doesn't give me that, that I'm happy with. And the speed that I get with Manga Studio helps as well. But yeah, so I got the underlining sketch there, and then I made another layer over top of it just to tighten the sketch up a little bit more. Here I loaded up Google SketchUp to load in a TV. This way I don't have to always redraw a TV every time I have to draw this character. And so we just pasted it into Manga Studio here. This whole process here is sort of similar to how I do our work, or the videos I've shown you guys before in Photoshop. But with the transparency and integrating SketchUp and all that good stuff. The only difference here is in Manga Studio, at least not for this sketch anyway, I'm not using that dead pixel, that 3-pixel brush that I always use in my Photoshop work. And here, this is one of the concerns I had with making the transition to Manga Studio, but I did figure a little way around it. If you turn your correction up to max, which I believe is 20, you can make pretty straight lines. And as you can see there, I just redrew over it, so I didn't have to, in Photoshop, you would click somewhere and hold shift and click somewhere else, and it'll make that straight line. But knowing that I can do that in Manga Studio pretty confidently is pretty good. And even using other tricks like this right here, where I make the black shape, reduce it, and then fill it white, that's other stuff that I would normally only concern myself with in Photoshop. But it's good to know that I'm able to do that here as well. So here we go, we're good to go. I'm just going to lower the opacity in a second. But yeah, I just jump right into the inks, and this is what I was talking about. Normally, I would grab that 3-pixel brush in Photoshop so that I get that dead line, so that I'm not rendering it all at any time. I get my line art, I get the quality in the character down that I want, then I worry about inking. But with Manga Studio, it's everything feels a little rushed for me because I'm able to just jump in there and add rendering when I want to. Like normally, if I sat down to draw something, and I was just going right into inks off of a sketch, I would be throwing line weights in there. How you see me drawing right now is probably how most people would draw on average. It's just you draw with the pressure and all that good stuff. But doing it the way that I've learned in digital with Photoshop, where I go in there with that line and then worry about the line weights after, keeps my lines a little honest. It keeps everything, like I can't just get away with certain things. And I know I'm probably being a little cryptic when I'm talking about when I just say things. I don't really go too much into it, but we'll get there in some more videos and all that good stuff. So here again, just working on that stuff. More of this costume for this character again. TV Man. He's in issue 4 of the standard. He's actually a really cool villain. It's not necessarily what he does, it's what he stands for. There's a lot of bad things to be said about TV. I'm not talking about, what TV shows you watch, but just TV in general and stuff. And it's one of the things that I got to tip my hat off to John Lees, the writer for the book, that I didn't really pick up on when I first started working on this project. Even right from issue 1, he always talks, and I'm not even sure if he's really aware of it or not, but he talks on multiple levels, and I think that's the key to some good storytelling. Is you're not just showing a bad guy fighting a good guy necessarily. You're going in there and you're showing some other things. You're giving some other information. So if John's secretly talking about TV's really bad and all that kind of thing, you don't know. You gotta read the book and see what John's trying to say and all that stuff. But anyway, I know I'm rambling with all that. So I got my layers. I'm just organizing them up there a little bit. And let me just look at the time here. I will apologize because the video does cut out and the drawing's not totally done. What I will do is include a little link in the underbar if you guys wanted to see the finished, I suppose, higher resolution version of it on my DeviantArt. If you guys follow me on Facebook, that's awesome. I usually post the stuff on there, so you guys may have seen that as well. But yeah, just click on the underbar and you guys can see the high resolution version of the image, so you can see how it turned out. And like I said, this was going to be used as a promotional thing. Lately, what I've been doing is, if I feel myself kind of losing a little bit of energy, or just sitting in front of the computer not doing work like I should be, sometimes I'll open Manga Studio because, like I said, it is a little bit more artsy in a way. Like the way that you do draw is very similar to how you would normally draw, or at least I would. So what I would do is I would just open it and I'd go in there, and essentially just start sketching characters and things. And what I have thought about lately is I should probably be doing promotional work, kind of like this, if I'm just going to do a sketch of characters for the projects I'm actually working on. It's cool to draw a Spider-Man and a Hulk and all that good stuff, but there's something to be said about actually promoting when I can promote. That to me, the Hulk is really awesome. Don't get me wrong, but TV Man is really awesome too, for its own reasons. And I know people aren't familiar with him, so they're not going to understand, or they might just look at him and think he's kind of cool looking and stuff like that. But it's one of those things where if all of us artists out there, we got our own personal projects to work on, it's probably in your best interest to devote some time to actually promoting them when you can, even if it is just a sketch. And like I said, most of us, or some of us, might want to work for Marvel and DC and those guys one day. That's awesome. However, until you get there, it'd probably be nice to have a little bit, creative freedom in what you're doing. So if you get time to do sketches, why not work on your own stuff, So here, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm really loving about Manga Studio, is this rendering. Man, just watching it, that's the kind of rendering I used to do back in the day, and I still kind of do now. But in Photoshop, that kind of rendering I find basically impossible, at least with the settings that I'm using. Some people, they will use an actual brush that is a feather technique like that, and they just kind of pop it like where they want it, and then warp, distort it a little bit. Here he's got kind of like those Captain America scales in a way. I'm just quickly using the lasso tool. It's faster just to fill that sucker in. Anyway, the video looks like it's about to wrap up, so thank you guys so much for watching. Take a look at the high-res image. Hopefully you guys like that. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Keep reading comics. Keep making comics. And we'll talk to you in the next video. Have a great week, you guys. Take care.